In today's translation help, the words plus, minus, take away, times, divided by, and equal to almost never have any trouble being translated into a math problem. However, when we change to the words sum, difference, product, and quotient, suddenly we have a little bit more trouble. Part of the reason for the trouble is that those words are not by themselves. You almost always have, for the adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, the next words will tell you of something and something else. And what makes it more difficult is both of those could be an entire phrase. For example, it could be of another one of these words, or it could also be a number or other phrases. Speaking of a number, whenever a problem mentions a number, but not what the number is, you should use a variable. Any of the alphabet works. X is usually picked on, but it doesn't really matter. So for example, if we were doing the sum of the product, notice inside of my phrase, I already have another one of these words. So inside of here, I'm going to have another of and. So it could be the product of 3 and a number, now telling me that I'm multiplying 3 and a variable of my choice. Then I'm going to continue back to the phrase for the sum of, here's my first thing, and now my second thing, perhaps as simple as a number by itself. So to translate, starting from the beginning, I have sum, so I know I'm adding two things, the first of and the second thing after the and. Of comes first, the product of 3 and a number. Today I'm going to pick the letter C, one of my favorites. And now I have my and, my second item goes with the other. Now, as challenging as those by themselves can be, the biggest problems always result in negative signs. For example, when we use less than. As soon as I say less than, even though it does mean I'm subtracting, it's never in the order it's written. For example, if I put a 5 before and a 7 after, this is not 5 minus 7. If you think about if you have $7 and now you have 5 less than 7, you know you're going to have 2 left, whereas the subtraction I wrote would have given me a -2. So as soon as you see less than, you do know you're subtracting, but the first item goes second. And then your second item goes first, giving me the correct value of 2. And last but not least for our translation help today, the verb to be. If you've taken another language, you may have studied the verb to be, but in English, sometimes we forget that a lot of words are really that verb. So to be, when I do present tense, depends on the point of view. First person present tense is am. You'll very rarely see this unless the problem is the number talking to you. I am this. I am 5 years younger than I used to be. What is my age now? Kind of problem. So we don't see it very often, but it is the present tense of to be. So is the word is. If you have more than one object, you might also see the word are. All of these symbols, or these words, go with the symbol equal. To be is to be equal to. Then you can also have the past tense, singular, both for first person and second person. Was for plural. They were. And of course, it can also be talking about something that will be true in the future. And there's our verb, will be. Lots of items here that go with our symbol, equal sign, that could be translated into any of your sentences when you're doing algebra.